Monster Hunter World and its clutch call mechanic. And by extension, I'm also be mentioning Monster Hunter Rise and the wirebug mechanic. Both are cool for what they want to bring into the game, but I understand why people don't like them. In fact, I like the clutch call. I really do. I thought it was a fantastic addition, but now that I'm breaking it down and truly thinking about it, and seeing how I played the game before the clutch call and then after the clutch call, I can see there's a problem here, and I understand why people don't like it. See, I dropped Monster Hunter Rise before Sunbreak about 60 hours in. I don't remember. I don't have my Switch. I don't remember. Right? I put about 60 hours in the game. I beat it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm good with it. I'm done with it. I'm not really feeling it like I was with Worlds. Maybe that's because I like Worlds more. Maybe it's because Worlds just hit that niche of balance with me. But I feel like the wirebug was so OP. Being able to recover, having the wild bag come back so fast, having moves be beautifully busted with the wirebug, being able to monster ride, it felt like a lot. And also the rampage, oh god, like that. It's a chore. It's a fun chore, but a chore. Maybe I'm a noob. Maybe I like how simple it was back then in Monster Hunter World. So that's why I'm coming back to Monster Hunter World. Also, it doesn't help that I have too much hours in that game, so I'm kind of addicted to it. But a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video. I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Why the clutch call ruined Monster Hunter World? Something like that. I'm going based off memory. And my knee-jerk reaction will be like, wait, what? What are you talking about? This is dumb. But no, I love this series, and many people do. So I'm just gonna watch the video, and I watched it through the whole way through, and I understood what he was talking about. So then, what I did for the next 3 weeks was play as attentively as possible while trying to understand the clutch call mechanic to its fullest. To its fullest. And I can tell you guys, though the mechanic is sound and in theory makes sense, it is either overtuned or we as hunters are using it wrong. That's because the game doesn't do a good job in telling you when and how you should use it. And even furthermore, the game, or at least the later monsters, are not designed with a clutch call in mind. And we're not supposed to be using it the way we are, the way that's currently used in the meta, or at least when it comes to playing with randos. Now, I do want to say one disclaimer before I start ranting on, is that maybe, just maybe, this is the natural progression of the series as it continues to grow on and get more and more popular. Let's be real, everything about Monster Hunter is anime as fuck. Everything about Monster Hunter is completely and utterly isekai as fuck. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be 100% clear about that. We, as hunters, are just gonna naturally, as the series progresses, as any great MMO, as any great franchise progresses, are gonna get naturally stronger, and things are just gonna get exponentially more tanky, and we're gonna be doing exponentially more damage, and we're gonna be able to move even more faster, more fluidly, more yada yada. You get it. You know it. It is what it is. Look at Tekken. Look how Tekken started. Look at Tekken 3. Can you tell me you saw Tekken 8 ever come from Tekken 3? Hell no. Not even for a second did I think those two games would be related. When I was young and I was playing Tekken 3, I had no idea where the series was going. And now, as an old adult male, damn, I'm old, I understand how it got here. That might be just the natural progression of Monster Hunter games moving forward. We might not like it, we might complain about it, but it is what it is. And now that I'm having a more critical eye on the mechanic as a whole, on the game as a whole, because I came back to it, I had to force myself to remember how the game played before they added a clutch call. And you would think it would be a small change, but it's really not. It changes the fundamentals of the game massively. Let me get into it. So the clutch call. You hook onto a monster, you tenderize some of its parts, everybody can hit them. Pretty cool. You clutch call to a monster, you slap it 3 times, the monster gets, angry. So now you have agitator up all the way. Pretty cool. You clutch call to a monster, and then you slap it towards a wall, and you blast it in the face with your slinger shot, and now it careens into the wall, giving you, free CC or knockdown. You can also do this facing other monsters, which is cool. Now you have 2 monsters on the floor. You really only want to focus on one, but the option is there. For the most part, this is good. This is great. I understand it. I don't know why this was implemented in the game. It makes sense. But once you break it down, is where the cracks really show. Now the biggest issue with this clutch call mechanic is that you can tenderize monsters' parts. This is both good and bad. The good far outweigh the bad. Let me explain to you. Tenderize a spot for a certain period of time. Weapons don't bounce off, which is really good, but more importantly, they do more damage. That's key. They do more damage. So anybody that wants to just end a hunt faster, tenderize everything. The issue with that is twofold. One, that becomes the only strategy that really matters in the game. Like, it really just becomes the only strategy that ever matters. Like, tenderize it and then hit it. That's how I go into every hunt, and that's how I feed randos and my crew, my people, my baby girl who plays with me. I love her so much. God, I'm so lucky to have a gaming wife. That's how we play the game, which is a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you want to just do more damage? Fair facts, it is what it is. Now, the problem with the clutch call is that it's inaccurate as all hell. Just inaccurate, right? And the monsters in Iceborne, at least the later half, are designed to just completely move all the time. And I mean this. All the time the monster is moving. They move so damn fast that you don't really have an opportunity to do clutch call. I think the game could have easily mitigated this by just having it so you can only clutch call and tenderize a spot, maybe even 2 spots if you're with a crew, when the monster flinch and is tired, right? And what I'm trying to say here, specifically, I gotta break it down, is that the game only gives you the ability to tenderize a monster's part at those specific moments, not whenever you so damn please. So hammer mains, I'm a hammer main, we will suffer a little, okay? It is what it is. Theoretically, this will improve the clutch claw mechanic by a lot, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. If that was the case, people will wait for those opportunities. In fact, we might have metas where we have a charge blade or even switch axe have builds where they decide to just make the monster as tired, exhaust them as fast as possible so you can clutch call them all over the place and then just completely destroy them that way. Now, that would have been a fun way to do it, but as it stands right now in the game, people will continue to just clutch call over and over and over again, which isn't the wisest choice because clutch caution at the wrong time can get you killed. I should know. I had to learn to stop. I have to, literally in the last 3 weeks, I had to reassess how I even value the clutch claw. To me, I only use the clutch claw under certain conditions, whether it be used in the lance, the hammer, the sword and shield, maybe the kinsek blade, maybe. On occasion, like, I really don't want to bother using it with that because you can just screw yourself, especially since you're up there all the time. And some monsters have tall hitboxes, by the way. And if I have the rock steady and temporal mantle, only time I ever really want to clutch call on a monster, unless they're softened or unless they're weak or unless it's something like, I only do that now like this because I've seen how much of a risk it is just to constantly want to clutch call. Because if I do that, I'm mispositioning myself and I'm not doing damage where I'm supposed to be doing damage. Now, the only benefit I see for the clutch call, truthfully nowadays that I actually understand how it works and how it's poorly implemented in the game, is that you can always enrage the monster when you want, on demand basically. Slap it 3 times, it gets mad, you have agitator on you, always. And agitator is a very powerful, especially if it's level 7. That is so much damage in crit. And for me, this part of the clutch call, being able to enrage the monster, is perfectly executed. I would say that if the clutch call wasn't so inaccurate, because wasting time jumping from body part to body part to get to the face to slap you 3 times takes time, and you will get knocked down before you even get a chance to do that. It is what it is. Unless you bring the rock steady or the temporal mantle, those are poor usage for those powerful tools that you have. Lastly, right, I want to talk about the clutch call's biggest benefit that became a detriment to the rest of the game. Now, this sounds weird and like I don't know what I'm talking about, but just hear me out. Monsters in Iceborne have a lot of HP. And they have a lot of HP because you can do this to them. Now, that's cool and all. That's fantastic. You're slapping the monster, boom, hits the wall. You get a nice chunk of fat damage. You really do. And then they're down on the floor for a bit, right? Maybe 10 seconds, maybe 7 seconds. I don't know the actual. I don't count. I just slap. The issue with this being is twofold. One and foremost, this is the optimal strategy when the monster is not in range. No duh. It's a free item, it's free damage, and more importantly, it's free CC, a free knockdown state for the monster. Beautiful. Except that now, because of all that free damage and openings you get because of this, monsters' health pools are inflated to compensate for the damage you can do just by doing a flinch shot at the right moment. I like this and I hate it at the same time because it feels great. It feels really good to be able to pull this off and do damage and then just pile on the monsters for a quick second. Now I love doing this because if you set it up right, you can break 2 to 3 parts at once doing this. Oh, feels good. Now the solution to this would have been to make it so you can only do this flinch shot maybe 3 times, maybe 2 times to elders, 3 times to the rest of the crew. Have it so that every monster learns from it and either just decides to walk away or like they stop themselves midway before getting there. Make it so they're evolving, you know, make it so they actually learn that, hey, you shouldn't let this happen. But the way it is now, we can just flinch shot them at any time in the hunt. Cool, great, fantastic, especially if you have thorn pops, easy knockdown. But now every monster's HP has been ridiculously inflated to compensate for the free damage you get. Because guys, like or not, this is just free damage. You can start the game like this. You can even get them when they're sleeping. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. It's easy money, easy damage, easy items. Now moving on to Monster Hunter Rise. Even though the theme of the game is ninjas, the wirebugs is, oh my god, it is just OP. Right? The sheer fact, and I mean this, people really underestimate the ability here, but the sheer fact that you can ride a monster for a set period of time and make them abuse another monster for you is massive. It's also why monsters have even more inflated HP pools in Rise. And also, the most important thing here, the fact that you have an aerial recovery that can be used on demand with no cooldown is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't fear getting slapped and bopped because I can just be like yoink away. It is so strong, which is why some of the monsters, at least the later half of the game, do so much damage. Now again, I didn't play Sunbreak. I was trying to make my massive Elden Ring video and I did 3 playthroughs of that game, so Sunbreak was just not a factor to me at the time back then. Maybe I should go back, maybe it's too late, I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments down below. But given what I played from Rise, I felt like I was too strong for the monsters at that point. I played every weapon. I didn't really have a main. I didn't touch the bow because I can't aim on a Joy-Con, like, excuse me. Didn't play with the guns for the same reason, but I did enjoy using the gun lance a lot more than I thought I would. That was awesome. Love playing the switch axe. I think it needs more buffs, but whatever. That's just me being biased.
I need more power.
Love the hammer. One true love. Love the great sword. Fantastic. The dual swords. Oh my god, the dual swords. I did not like playing sword and shield, but that's because I like having range and I like reaching the monster. Now I'm told from my replies to my last video about Monster Hunter Wilds and what I really want in the game that I should go check out Monster Hunter Frontier. And I'm kind of mad that Iceborne, in fact, no, I'm kind of mad in general that Rise didn't introduce the Tonfa or the Magnet Spite again. Oh my god. I'm looking at these movesets. I'm looking at seeing these videos. I'm just mad about it. But that's a different video for a different time. Maybe at all. I might just secretly buy Frontiers and get into it and then lose my life to that. Back to the topic. I understand what people don't like. The Clutch Claw. And by extension, I also understand why people don't like the wirebug. That being said, Monster Hunter Rise is designed from the ground up to have the wire claw in it. So it's a better game for it in my opinion. And the Clutch Claw was loosely fitted to be in Monster Hunter World. So much so that it changed the way we approach combat. My biggest example for this is a memory that's so fresh to me. Wow, fresh to me. Oh my god, it's been years. When Gold first came out, right, the strategy about that was completely different than it is today. You can never go back to how it was back then. Unless you put the rules and the limitation upon yourself, that's a very different fight from pre-Clutch Claw to the Clutch Claw era. And it's a shame because I really like the Clutch Claw as an idea, but now putting a critical eye on it, it was poorly implemented. I'm not sure it will ever come back, but if it does, it needs a lot of work. It needs to be nerfed. I don't think it should be able to tenderize monster part, and you can only use it at certain times in the hunt, or you can only get a few fling shots with it. I believe that's the only way to make it balanced. Other than that, good idea, poor execution. I just want to reiterate the point that this might just be the natural progression when it comes to power scaling or escalation when it comes to Monster Hunter games, because every game does it. Just look at Metal Gear. This is how it began, okay, and this is how Metal Gear ended. Believe me, we skipped a lot. This is explained in the game, but we skipped a lot, and I'm thinking this is the same thing, progression that's going to happen with Monster Hunter moving forward, or as a series as a whole. Because remember, Hunter arts were amazing, but we didn't keep that. I mean, they could have been tuned, they could have been reworked, they could have been added into the game, but we never kept it. I'm sure some people would like to have Hunter arts back in the games, but unless Capcom wants it, we can't help it. Anyways, that's been definitely. But I'm gonna do a completely different video after this. I'm gonna like take my time and write a complete script and go from the ground up with that. So please wait for that. If you like the video, hit me with a thumbs up. Dislike the video, hit me with a thumbs down. Hit me with subscribe if you think I've earned it. But whatever you do, make sure you have a good day on purpose, and I'll catch you on the next one.